What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what you should be looking out for the future of this company. I'm also going to be breaking down where under Tesla may end up going based off the CPI report that's coming out for tomorrow. So I'm going to show you what the expectations are and how this may affect the market and Tesla going forward. I'm also going to talk about what Cathie Wood did involving Tesla that has actually shocked a lot of investors around the world. I'm also going to talk about what the news is saying about Tesla and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk put on his Twitter page. That's massive for Tesla, and it just goes to show how resilient and amazing this company really is. But before I do that, before I talk about Elon Musk and what's happening to Tesla's share price, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull with the link down below and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You are guaranteed 5 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000, and you could always sell those 5 free stocks for cash and buy some Tesla shares for free. Now, this is a limited time offer that ends in just one day, so please check it out before Webull runs out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we're up about 1.64% for the day. Let's go. However, I want to show you what I predicted yesterday, right? Yesterday, I told you in my prediction that I thought Tesla would actually have a drop, and I predicted we'd get a drop as low as 756. Then I thought we'd get a nice bounce off of that, break past 775, and end up closing around that. I predicted $790 range. A little bit in the green was my prediction. We ended up actually dropping like I thought, but we actually held up a little bit higher at this support region at 774. And you can see I drew out these support and resistance levels. You guys can see how the chart actually followed them quite well. Look at how we bounced off 774, where our support was at 775 that I drew out. So it was very close. It actually held up better than I thought and ended up closing at 800 flat. So I was off by about 5 to 10 bucks on the close, but we were quite close. Yesterday. That doesn't mean we're always going to be right when it comes to these predictions, but there will be some days where we are quite close. But the thing about tomorrow is it's very hard for me to make a perfect prediction. I am going to just try, but that's going to be based off the CPI report. If you look at the SPY, check out the SPY, you could see we had this big gap, big push down, followed by a bounce, followed by a green day, very similar to the way Tesla performed. You can see the Nasdaq was also quite similar, but it goes to show that Tesla is kind of being anchored right now. It's kind of running with the SPY and the Nasdaq in a way, and that's because of the current market conditions. But right now, I have to talk about this right here. Tomorrow is the big day. We have CPI data coming out. Okay, CPI is essentially just a consumer price index, and this is an inflationary measure accepted by many investors and economists around the world. And from the way I see it, right, as someone that is studying economics right now, typically CPI does have a tendency of overstating or understating data. That's the big thing to remember. It's not going to be perfect, which is why it is kind of contentious in a way. But when it comes to this report, many advisors think that it's going to be a little bit lower than what it was for March. So this is going to be the report for April. Obviously, April just ended like about a week and a half ago. So we're going to get the numbers for April. So looking at the numbers, according to Yahoo News right now, analysts expect Wednesday's CPI report to show a pullback, right? And they think it's going to be an annual increase of 8.1%. That's what the expectation is showing. That's going to be a little bit lower than the 8.5% report we got last time, which was the hottest or highest reading from since December of 1981. Sorry about that, but you could see they are expecting a bit of a decline to 8.1%. And we could see many other reports are showing that right here. Also, Forbes is reporting expectations are 8.1% month to month. And also right here, the Fed's Neil Kashkari, I do apologize if I said his name wrong. Neil Kashkari, he is the Minneapolis Fed president. He said he's confident inflation will come back to the central bank's 2% target quite in the future. He also said that he thinks it's going to actually drop for tomorrow as well, but he does think there's going to be some pain on the way for that to happen. But he does think that we're going to see a very good recovery quite soon, and he does think it's also going to be down for tomorrow. So a lot of analysts are expecting it to be down. What does this mean for Tesla? Well, remember the expectation is 8.1%. Okay, Many big analysts out there are expecting 8.1% as the CPI report coming out for tomorrow. Excuse me. So, what this means is if the report comes out and is actually at 8%, if it's at 7.9%, if it's 8.1% or lower, or I would say 8% or lower, right? If it's lower than expectations, the market is most likely going to see some green. The market's going to do a little bit better because it's adding some relief to us that inflation is cooling down. This whole rate hike situation won't be as extreme as some people may anticipate it to be because the Fed is acting in response to the changes in inflation, right? Their changes to monetary policy is adjusted to actually kind of protect our economy in a way. And as a result of that, right, if inflation or the CPI report is lower than expected, then that's going to be great. We're going to rally. If it's exactly where it was expected to be, then it's very possible for us to stay maybe the same, but because it would be lower than before, we could actually see some green because of that. But here's the big thing, and yeah, I want you guys to remember this. If it's maybe around 8.2%, 8.3%, it won't be that bad, I would say. But if it's like 8.4%, maybe 8.3%, 8.4%, 8.5%, 9%, it's going to be really bad. The market's going to take a massive hit if it comes out that way. So remember, if CPI is higher than expected, the market will most likely take a hit. If it's exactly the same, it should be okay. And if it's quite lower, by maybe zero point 0.1 or 0.2% or even higher than that. If it's a lot lower, the market's going to rally. So that's what we really need to be looking out for. It's going to be released right before the market opens, maybe like 30 minutes before. And that's what we're looking at. What's going to happen to Tesla? Well, this is what I think is going to happen. First off, it depends on the report. That's what you need to look out for. What is the report going to show us? Let's go over the possibilities. So let me draw this out for you before I give you guys my prediction. If Tesla, or if we hypothetically get a CPI report, let's draw this out. Let's say that, for instance, it's at exactly the expectation. What could happen to Tesla is we get a nice push in the beginning because ultimately, I think if it meets expectations, it would show that inflation is cooling down. So the market should rally just a little bit. We could actually get a nice push kind of like this, maybe go as high as that 830 to 840 range, then get rejected kind of like this a little bit later, trade sideways, then drop again. And who knows, we could drop as low as that 774 if it's that bad, if the SPY does take a bit of a hit. It's possible for us to get a nice bounce off of that, trade kind of like this, push up. And then as we approach close, I think I went a little bit over, but as we approach the closing, get a nice push up. I wouldn't be surprised if we closed around here, that $820, $830 range. If we meet expectations on CPI, that's very possible. What if we miss expectations? What if things are really bad and somehow inflation is higher than people had expected? What could happen is immediately as the market opens, we start dropping, we get rug pulled a little bit. I'm going to change the colors of this, so give me 1 second. And Tesla could slowly start to decline like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing touched 756, traded kind of sideways. It could push a little bit lower. It's very possible maybe 750 holds us up. And if that isn't enough, if the market's very bloody, then it could keep dropping. Okay, I want you guys to be prepared for that. Just dropping a little bit. And we could end up closing around that 775 range. That's possible if inflation is really bad, as reported. Now, what if it's good? What if the numbers aren't just at expectations? What if they're much lower than expectations? What if the CPI reports at 8%, 7.9%, 7.6%? If that were the case, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing, I'm going to change the color, so give me 1 second actually. So I feel like this is going to confuse some people. Let's make it this color. Okay, the one that looks like that should be better. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me adjust the chart, make this a little bit easier to see. How would Tesla move if inflationary numbers were really good? They were very low, right? This is what would happen. I would expect a nice push in the opening, just like this, followed by a rejection, sideways action. But these higher key levels of support would hold us up. Tesla would probably hold above 800, trade a little bit sideways, then get a nice push up like this, and then push. We might actually break this towards the very end and manage to actually close. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a nice day and we actually close around that 850 to 840 range, somewhere around there. I wouldn't be surprised if the report is that good. So these are the three main possibilities, right? Obviously, this one right here, that's if CPI is really good. If it meets expectations, perhaps we'll see this. If it's really bad, we'll probably drop like this. And why are we going to do that? Because we're affected by the entire market as a whole collectively. This includes the SPY bouncing off these supply and demand zones, not to mention the NASDAQ. So when it comes to looking at this from a different perspective, right, such as technical indicators, technical indicators may not show this as well because we are reacting to something. They're not pricing in the reaction. So if you look at the excuse me, the MACD, you can see right here we got this nice push right here. This nice push right here is an indicator that yeah, this thing can move. It's very capable of moving. If you look at this on the 1 minute chart, we got a nice push at the very end. From the 2 hour perspective, check this out right here. We're starting to see a bit of a curl on the MACD and the 9-day moving average. We're still quite oversold on RSI, which is why technical indicators are supporting that upside is very, very possible. Now, I don't want you guys to expect upside. I don't want you guys to expect anything or be like super, super bullish or bearish before you even see the report. We don't truly know for the short term how this is going to play out, but I do think that these are the three most likely situations. Let me zoom out one more time to make this a little bit more clear. I'm not sure if you guys can see the numbers, but this is just one of the possibilities. And with that out of the way, I'm still very bullish for the long term. I'm incredibly bullish still. Don't let all the FUD out there scare you. There's a lot of FUD right now. Lots of people are saying Tesla's a dead cat, give up. I mean, even Cathie Wood did shock the market by dumping about 12 excuse me, $12.7 million of Tesla stock to snap up some GM. So a lot of people are confused by what she's doing because electric cars are the future. But you have to remember that GM is also entering the electric vehicle race. And I for one, think that they're still a decent company. They do make great cars, in my opinion. Tesla's also absolutely fantastic. But as you know, she does like to diversify. She does like to make different moves. And some people have talked about the fact that she did make a bad options play. And she was in a position where she had to sell some Tesla shares because she I think she sold puts from the beginning. I don't know if that's confirmed because I didn't see too many articles that confirmed that. I just heard that from somewhere. So that's one of the possibilities as to what she did. She may have made some bad moves. Everyone makes mistakes, even some of the best investors like Cathie Wood. But at the end of the day, remember, she did also talk about the fact that she believes Tesla is going to break past $4,600 a share in the upcoming years. So it's not the end of the world. You can see right here, her bullish price target is 4,600 per share for Tesla by 2026. So it's not the end of the world. It is a little bit surprising that she sold that much, but $12 million is not an insane amount of money relative to her entire portfolio. So not the end of the world. I'm not necessarily scared. She didn't sell everything, but the media is obviously going to make a bigger deal than it should over things like this. Her wanting to diversify or put money into other things is a-okay. I'm not going to be one to judge. It's just that you have to remember, it doesn't mean it's a dead company. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that Tesla, some people will make different moves, but Tesla is still very bullish, in my opinion. Now, another big thing to talk about, and I like this article title compared to other ones out there. Tesla recalls 130,000 vehicles due to CPU overheating, but the fix is again a software update. Now, a lot of articles do this. A lot of other news outlets do this, and they just show this highlighted part. They don't even show this part. Do you understand that? They'll say things like Tesla recalls 130,000 vehicles again. That's it. And then people get an entirely different idea. They don't understand what this actually means because a recall is a very ambiguous term. It could mean something completely different from different companies for different conventional cars. The fix is just a software update. Thank you, Electric, for actually including that in the headline. That's a very good move they made. Proud of them for that. And once again, issues like this they're common. They're happening all the time. Not necessarily too scared because right now we are seeing some laggy performances from the CPUs that are overheating, but they are ready to fix it very, very soon. Not the end of the world. So don't let people throw FUD at you. Don't let anyone get into your head because as an intelligent investor, you have to see through biases and also keep pushing forward. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what Elon Musk ended up tweeting about. According to Tesla, what does that say? Tesmania. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. But, anyways, they stated that Tesla Giga Shanghai produced almost 11,000 cars in April, working in just one shift after 3 weeks of downtime. That is insane, in my opinion. 11,000 cars in just 1 week. To me, that is insane. Not even 1 week. I'm sorry, one shift. And one shift, 11,000 cars. That is incredible. And Elon Musk responded, the Tesla China team is amazing. So it just goes to show, yeah, you could put this company on a lockdown. They could stop producing for a few weeks, but they're always going to bounce back. They're going to come up with a new contraption, a new different idea to expand their factories. They're going to keep on bouncing back no matter what anyone says. So with that out of the way, I gave you guys my predictions in a way because there's no way I could give you guys one prediction because it depends on the CPI report. Be on the lookout for that before the market opens tomorrow. If you're not going to play the charts or day trade or do anything like that, it's up to you. But like I said before, it's going to be okay. I'm incredibly bullish for this company for the long term. This is just a short term, 1 day prediction. And be well aware of support and resistance levels. I forgot to mention this. Our key supports are 774, 775 if we were to drop, 756, I think 730 to 722 axis support, 700. Resistance will be at 800 flats, but we actually closed above that, so maybe around 821, 847, 870, and 886 are what you need to be looking out for. So I just wanted to put that out there as a trader, as an investor, as a scalper. Be prepared for anything. As a long term investor, just know the future is bright. And with that out of the way, I want to thank you for listening. I do apologize if I was coughing a lot. I do have a bit of a cough, but it doesn't matter. We're strong. We never quit. With that out of the way, thank you. Tesla to the moon and peace out.